Delicious coffee. About to see some awesome people in chat. Happy Friday, everyone. I'm super excited to be here today. Really, really excited to see all of you awesome people in chat. We're going to talk about a lot today. There's been a lot of really great Witcher news. And I see some people are saying, I'm glad I'm able to be here on this Friday. So super excited to be here. And we're going to talk about season 2 today. Season 2 of The Witcher. Really, really excited to talk about that. And there really is, like I said, have been so many articles lately, and there's going to be filming. I think they're filming in like 2 weeks starting season 2, where they're going to film over a period of 125 days. So we're going to get into that. I got some articles from a couple of different websites that we're going to go reference and read from and talk about the showrunners' thoughts and all of that. So really excited to be here with you today. Let's see. Let's go back in the chat. I got Maura Lee with 2 fabulous donations, tossing a coin to your YouTuber. Thank you so much. She says a $25 donation, just a show of love and support for all the fabulous content to get the hype train started. Well, thank you so much, Maura Lee. Appreciate that. We have Maura Lee with another $20 donation. So thank you for that. We have Shelby, and I also see Stacy from the Witcher Addicts. Really awesome people. We have Denise Hall. We have Katrin. We have Forrest Blurda. We have, the Bandersnatch. We have Clarissa Thompson, Anna Iglesias, The Laughing Storm. I've seen you around in the Witcher Addicts as well. Danny McKay. Really, really awesome. Omniscient here. So I'm sure there's a few other people. Ty is in chat. Really awesome to see all of you today. So cheers. I'm just having some coffee. And Klonitsky, nice to see you. So today, like I said, we're going to go over a few things. Last week, we did episode number 1 of the book club, which was really fun. Me and Aziz went over just the awesomeness of the lesser evil, kind of the themes, destiny, all of that, the overarching themes that go throughout the Witcher books, the games, and the TV show, how they're all connected and all of that. We're going to be doing episode number 2 of the book club next Friday. So I'm gonna try to alternate like news cycles with book club every other week, so we kind of have something fresh. So we'll probably do. Then that way that, when we're getting fresh news, we have a lot to talk about kind of in one segment, if that makes sense, everyone. But we'll do a book club every 2 weeks, and then we'll do a news segment. So stream every Friday. Maybe I'll do, throw an extra bonus stream in there just for a Q&A or something like that. But really excited to be here. So yeah, where should we really start? Definitely should, I think, maybe go with a couple of season 2 articles. Actually, let's have a little consensus in chat. Do we want to talk about the new Nilfgaardian armor, which is huge news? So there's been a lot of criticism about that. Players of the games and how it's described in the books is not quite what we see in the show. There's going to be new Nilfgaardian armor in season 2, so we can talk about that. That's really big. We got full director lineup for Witcher season 2 reveal. There's going to be 4 directors. We don't know how many episodes yet. It could be, I think it's going to be 8 to 10 episodes. It'll probably be 8 like the first season, but I'd be happy if it's 10. So we got the director lineup, which is super exciting. We can also talk about how The Witcher is going to be releasing the Nightmare of the Wolf animated film to tell Vesemir's story. So his origin story, so we can talk about that. Or we can just talk about, we can talk about like Lauren's interview with Vulture. That's a great one. She talked about some of the mistakes that happened in Witcher 1 and how they're going to fix them in season 2. So what do we want to go with? What do we want to start with today? Do we want to talk about Nilfgaardian armor, the directors? Do we want to talk about some of the approaches they're going to take in season 2? Let's have a little vote in chat. I kind of want to see what everyone wants to start off with. So Stacy says, I will be interested to see if they feature any more short stories in season 2. Well, actually, we could talk about that. There's a little bit of news about that, Stacy. There's a rumor that Christopher Hivju, who played Tormund in Game of Thrones, is going to be playing Nivellen. So that would be interesting. If Geralt and Ciri are going on a little bit of adventure, it would be a twist that didn't happen in the books, but something that they can include in season 2, because that is something that one of the short stories that they want to explore in season 1. So that would certainly be fantastic. Hey, Angelina, hi, what's going on? Nice to see some awesome people in here. Angelina Ahai is my cousin. Of course, I'm Azora Hype. She's Angelina Ahai. Get it? A cousin. Directors first. Okay, so we got to vote for directors. We got to vote for armor. We got let's start with the directors. Let's go into that. And then we'll talk about the Nilfgaardian armor. Actually, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to Redanian intelligence. Let me see. Can I screen cap in StreamYard? Let me see if I can. I have so many different windows open. Because I'm, and by the way, for everyone that's watching on Witcher Addicts, whether you're on Twitch, also streaming on Twitch, we're streaming on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and 3 different platforms on Facebook. So the Witcher Addicts group, really, really awesome. Geek Chat 1, my own personal Facebook page, and Twitch, and also YouTube. So if you want to find me on all these different platforms, I'm just getting started on Twitch. I'm going to be playing some games on there as well. So if you want to follow me, I actually have my, in the description of this video, I have all my social media. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, all that if you want to connect with me. But yeah, some follows would be appreciated on my Twitch. I kind of want to start growing my Twitch channel and start doing some gaming and stuff like that. I might play the Witcher 3, honestly. And I know a lot of people have mentioned that. So that would be really fun. Okay, we got some more votes for armor. You guys want to talk about the armor? That sounds good. We'll do that. But also, if you want to chat more about The Witcher, which I think is something that a lot of people want to do, and I highly recommend, is go to the Witcher Addicts group. I actually have the link in the description of this video. So Shelby, if you want to post it in the live chat, you're welcome to do that. Shelby and Stacy are part of that group. I see some other people there. Feel free to go join that group because we're doing discussions, polls, all sorts of stuff like that. So really, really awesome group. Lots of memery, lots of discussion on the books, all sorts of stuff. So that's kind of an all-encompassing thing if you are enjoying The Witcher. In the description of this video, and also Geek Chat 1, JR, one of my best friends in the community. Go join Geek Chat 1 to go check them out. So we're gonna jump into the article. This sip of coffee here, and we will get it going. Okay, so The Witcher Season 2 to have 4 directors and totally different Nilfgaardian armor. So this is from the Hero of Rodan, and by the way, I did put the link to Redanian intelligence in the description of this video. So you can, I'm going to go screen share this. We're going to go to the Redanian intelligence. Entire screen application window. So we're going to go to this. We're going to go, let me know everyone in chat. I think we can, yeah, okay. So here we go. Here's the article. Hero of Rodan from Redanian intelligence. You can kind of see here. Awesome website. They have all sorts of awesome news. They have a great Twitter account as well. It says, though the rumors and leaks about season 2 of Netflix's Witcher were abundant throughout January, this past week has been rather quiet with regards to Henry Cavill's fantasy drama. It actually started to up just a little bit. But if you have time to make sure, they say listen to their podcast. And she says, so anyways, Lauren History, she says, I'm in London right now, and this is where we're shooting season 2 of The Witcher. I've been here for about 2.5 weeks on the ground, and we're in pre-production now. So we're crazy busy. It's very exciting, and we're getting ready to start kicking it off again. We are shooting season 2 for about 125 days. However, that breaks down. So we go for about 5.5 months, depending on give and take. Season 1 was much longer. It took much longer for us to do. So when you're getting your first season of a show, what she's saying, it is like initially you're like, okay, you're trying to get all these things in place. Now that they have a full season, kind of to work with, they kind of know what to expect with filming and all that sort of stuff. Everything about The Witcher has been a real learning process for me, she says. It's the beauty of being able to do this for the first time and to come back and do it again. This is right. So season 2 will be the first time where they make a new season. Season 2 is exciting. It's a chance to look at the mistakes we've made in season 1 and do it better, tell stories better, and improve some of the things that didn't work, get rid of it and start over. One thing Hisrich confirms will be changed in the upcoming season is that the Nilfgaardian armor will be totally different, and you have that opportunity with season 2 to go back and correct that. So I don't know. We don't have any pictures of the Nilfgaardian armor yet, but they're in the UK. So that's really exciting, and we're gonna have new Nilfgaardian armor. Everyone, super excited about that. There was, as fans of the game, as a fan of the game, and as a fan of the books, I'm like not super concerned about something like that. Of course, like as a Game of Thrones fan, I'm like, oh yeah, the Lannister armor was fantastic, and when Jon Snow had parts of his armor that looked like Ned's, like those are small little details that super fans like me and other members of the chat like. This is stuff that we focus on because we're super hardcore fans, right? But this is something that's really good news. And the whole thing that comes out of this is that they are willing to listen to criticism and learn from their mistakes, which is really good. And that was something that was very apparent, towards the end of a Game of Thrones that wasn't happening. You know what I mean? There was actors and input from people, and Dan and Dave kind of, just they had their vision, they did what they did, and that's what happened. I'm not saying it was bad, but I'm just saying this is a really encouraging sign that they're willing to listen to fans and go into Reddits and talk to people and, to be like, this is something that we can fix now. If we're going to have 7 seasons, we might as well fix it in season 2, season 1, whatever. At least we'll have it for 6 seasons. So really, really excited for that. And I want to see more of the gothic look that was in the games and described. Black and gold, like it was just black. It looked kind of funky in the show. I didn't have a super huge problem with it because I thought the fight scenes were badass and all of that. But we're gonna see a lot more of these wars and stuff going forward with season 2 and future seasons of The Witcher. So it's good that they're correcting this right now. And how does everybody in chat feel about this? Are you excited that they are changing the armor? I know there is some hardcore Witcher fans in the chat right now about that. So I think it will make Nilfgaard more menacing. So I'm going to look at some comments in the chat here. Laughing Storm says, just make Nilfgaard better overall. I'm in agreement with that. He says the armor was goofy, but it matched the goofiness of Nilfgaard in general. I think it'll be cool. The complexity as an empire will be reflected with more attractive armor. Yeah, I think so too. I think the thing too is that like the word that is important that you mentioned is empire, right? They're like, I don't want to classify them as the Roman Empire, but they are this huge force. I don't want to spoil too much, but I think that with this correction, and we got more of the graying of the characters, so we know that Sintra wasn't just black and white. Nilfgaard is just this bad guy, and Sintra is just a good guy. We know that there's more to the story, and there's more plot twists, and certainly in these kind of medieval type of settings, we know that there's this treachery, and there's this generational monarchy thing that's trying to go on. They're trying to install power and keep it within certain areas of the world. So that is certainly something that's going to be explored throughout future Witcher seasons. And I think that even something as small as armor makes a big impact, especially for something like Nilfgaard that has a huge impact on the books, the show, and the games. So I think this is a great decision that they're making to fix this now. Stacy says, it will get better because Nilfgaard gets bigger and more powerful as time goes on. That is true. Kate Bertinsky says, as someone who hasn't read as far in the books nor played in the games, I have no point for comparison. But once I heard the rumors about the ends, yeah, some people were saying it looked kind of like a wrinkled ball sack. I get that. It kind of did a little bit. So that's pretty funny. But yeah, so and they're gonna, and now that we're gonna have more of the POV characters together too, now that we have Geralt and Ciri together, I don't want to spoil too much on Yennefer, but obviously Ciri mentions Yennefer, and there's a connection between all these 3 characters. We know that it's more than just Geralt is the main protagonist. We know there's multiple main protagonists. So I think that as time goes on too, we're going to see more of what we, kind of what we saw in Game of Thrones, like the kind of the viewpoints from each side. And that's really exciting, because if they're going to fix their appearance and make them look more menacing and give them more a look into their culture and why they craft their armor the way they do, and why they have the certain colors within their armor, I think that's really important to reflect to what we're going to see further in the future, because eventually we're going to see the Emperor of Nilfgaard. And I think that this change kind of is in direct relation to that and what we're going to kind of see in the future. So I'm really excited about that. So I'm going to go check, see if we have any comments on Facebook and Geek Chat 1. Don't want to ignore anybody up there. Cassidy Cosplay says, I keep on touching my glasses. There we go. It's not my glasses that are crooked. It's my nose that's crooked. I had it broken when I was younger, Cassidy. So we have AB Cassidy and Beth Radke watching on Facebook. Thank you for joining. And I haven't checked Twitch. I think a couple of my friends from the sewer are watching here on Twitch. So exciting. So yeah, super exciting that they're going to be changing the armor. And the thing too is, one of the things that was super great about season 1 is that it had so much success. And now Netflix is like committed to, telling this whole story. They're like, yeah, this is going to be a thing that we're going to have season after season. They're now committed. I think this is also something that is super exciting. They're committed to making that commitment to, see the whole story of The Witcher through. And it's clear they're making this decision for the future because they want to tell the whole story on Netflix. Like, I think we're going to get 7 seasons of The Witcher, something like that, depending on how popular it is. I mean, 76 million people at least watched The Witcher for 2 minutes, which is, pretty crazy. And we know what happened after Game of Thrones, like after a few seasons, like, after the Red Wedding, there was this huge shock, pop culture shock that was like, oh, whoa, this is like this huge TV event. So there's things like that are going to happen within The Witcher. And it's only going to get more popular as people read the books. We know that the Last Wish on the New York Best Time seller is up there, and they had to order more books and stuff like that. So this is really good news, everyone, that we're going to, they're making a bigger commitment, putting more money, because like it's going to cost money to make more armor, new armor and stuff like that. So this is really, really exciting. People are talking about Kay here in the chat. Super, yeah. He is a character that that his arc becomes. He has a fascinating arc. He's one of those characters that has there's more to him than what is shown in the first season. We're gonna see more of that, like I said, because we're gonna as POV characters kind of get together. The Jaskier, the Yennefer, the Ciri, the Geralt, all of them stay together, and we have kind of the other side, and we have this kind of game of cat and mouse going on, and then wars. We're going to see more of King Foltest and Temeria. Really excited for that as well. So yeah, if you're enjoying this so far, everyone, please feel free to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be releasing another season 2 video tomorrow, an edited style video. Not going to tell you what it's about because I want it to be a surprise, but super excited to be getting back to making some more videos. All right, so shall we get into another article? Let's do it. So Redanian Intelligence, like I said, if you want to go find them, you can find that in the description of this video. Let's go find another one. Let's talk a little bit about the directors. Let's get the article for the directors. I'll do a screen cap for that too, so everyone in the chat can see. Toss a coin to your YouTuber, oh value plenty, oh value plenty, oh. All right. So full director lineup of The Witcher season 2 revealed, and this is from Gravemaster. And as I said, you can check out the articles in the description of this video. It says, it hasn't been a month since we discovered the first director of season 2 of Netflix's The Witcher. Steven Surgic took it to social media to reveal photos from the Isle of the Sky, a gorgeous location where some of the new season scenes will be filmed with Henry Cavill himself. So that's really exciting. There's a link to another article. We'll go check that out in a minute. This was actually a location that was being scouted for Game of Thrones for the prequel, the one that got canceled, where they were going to have more, Children of the Forest story, stuff from the White Walkers and stuff like that. That was actually a location that they were filming with there. So this is really interesting that the people from The Witcher have found that. So later we revealed 2 more, Ed Bazalgette and Sarah O'Gorman. And the 4th director is the Emmy-nominated Geeta Patel. Patel has worked on the drama and comedy productions such as Meet the Patels, The Runaways, The Santa Clara Diet, which is a great show. And it's unknown how many episodes she will direct, but the likeliest number is 2. So they have 4 directors. That might be a signal that there's going to be 8 episodes. Each director kind of gets to take 2 episodes. That would be really interesting. Just kind of some context as to what these directors have been connected to. Ed Bazalgette has been connected to Doctor Who and The Last Kingdom. The Last Kingdom is another fantastic show if you're into, medieval type stories. Really, really great. I highly suggest you go watch that. And the books are absolutely fantastic. So I'd go suggest to read those if you're looking for more shows to get into or more content to consume. So The Last Kingdom, Ed Bazalgette connected to The Last Kingdom and Doctor Who. Sarah O'Gorman, Jamestown and Curse. So we've got some really interesting documentaries and another show that she's connected to. Geeta Patel, who we just spoke about, The Runaways, she's connected to that. And Steven Surgic was connected to Daredevil and the Umbrella Academy. So Daredevil, my favorite Marvel show that ended up getting canceled on Netflix. Really interesting that Netflix is kind of picking him from the Daredevil. Really awesome. And the Umbrella Academy is fantastic. The comics, graphic novels are absolutely fantastic. So really, really exciting group of directors there. It looks like they got some talent. It says there are no returning directors from season 1. Ali Sakharov, who directed 3 episodes, will not be returning. But this is really interesting. So there's a new set of directors. Like I said, I'm most excited for Steven Surgic, personally. And he's been connected to Daredevil and the Umbrella Academy. Both of those stories have rich backstory, great lore. Marvel has great lore, a history of books and comics behind it. And the Umbrella Academy has the same thing. And this is the kind of same thing that we're dealing with The Witcher. We have this mythology behind it, the books, this great story. So I think that's really exciting. What do we think about the directors, everyone? It's kind of a little bit of a bummer that they don't have some season 1 directors back, but it shows that they're confident in making choices with new people for season 2. Laughing Storm says Steven actually worked on The Punisher and Jessica Jones. Well, that's really exciting. Yeah, I think that's a great point, by the way. Laughing Storm, who also has a YouTube channel, if you want to click on his thing there. Laughing Storm, if you want to post it, or Stacy, you want to grab Laughing Storm's link, you can put it in the description in the live chat, and we can share and subscribe to Laughing Storm's channel. A fellow Canadian, by the way. Laughing Storm says that Surgic could do good work with some darker material. And I'm in agreement there, because Daredevil definitely had some of that. Pardon me, this coffee is getting to me. And so I think, Daredevil definitely had some, darker moments and some darker overarching plot points. And I think we're going to see some of that in season 2 as well with The Witcher. It definitely has some darker moments mixed in with some comedy. But I'm really excited about this personal director choice. And it looks like each of them are going to get 2 episodes. So that's pretty exciting. We got Chrissy of Oldstone, who has finally arrived in the chat. And by the way, I would like to personally thank Maura Lee for the 2 donations earlier. She was actually the first one to hit the join button and join the channel memberships. It's something new that we have on the channel. Super exciting. It's kind of like a Patreon built into YouTube. So really awesome. So thank you so much, Maura Lee. Let's show some love for Maura Lee in the chat. I'm going to spam that special Witcher emoji you get unlocked when you join the channel. There we go. All right, let's get into there's more from Redanian Intelligence. Let's go get into another article. There's some more exciting news. They're talking about Dijkstra, another character that is fantastic in the games and the books, that there's a rumor for the casting. So let's get into some casting news. And let's go with that. I'm going to screen cap this again for everyone so you can see, and then we'll get into the article. All right, The Witcher Season 2, The Hobbit actor, and also Outlander auditions for Dijkstra. Filming for the second season of Netflix's The Witcher starring Henry Cavill begins in less than 1 month. Though much is kept under wraps about the second season, Redanian intelligence has been uncovering a series of reports over the last week, including a potential casting of Christopher Hivju as Nivellen, which we spoke about earlier, which is really exciting. In this next report, we're happy to announce that Season 2 of The Witcher will introduce one of our very own, because this site is called Redanian Intelligence, our Redanian spy master, Sigismund Dijkstra. So that's really, really exciting. And well, what's more, we have the audition script used to cast a role. So really, really exciting for that. This news comes via an audition clip shared by actor Graham McTavish, who has been in The Hobbit. He was one of the dwarves. If you like the Hobbit prequel movies, The Outlander, Preacher, and Lucifer, who reads for the character called David. So really interesting. The Witcher Season 2 is casting characters under code names. David naturally is not a name befit of the continent. For instance, in Season 1, Istrid was named Isaac, and this audition script, Renfrey was Riley. The David question is, without question, our Redanian spy master. So they think, but let's watch this right here. Can you guys hear it in chat, by the way? Can you guys hear the interview in the chat, by the way? Let me know if you can. Oh, you can't? So one thing that's really interesting, if we look at what's highlighted here, sorry I can't get the audio for you, but it says, in my line of work, today's gossip is next month's news. And then we have an outline here. King Vizimir, for such a large man, David, you move remarkably like the wind, though in this case, a foul one. Dijkstra smiles. Can't that be that foul? It took you an eternity to take notice. So there's this whole script here where it goes over what he's auditioning for, and it looks like, this guy would be a great choice. He has great acting chops. I think he would make a fantastic Dijkstra. He has, the face for it. He, Dijkstra has a bald head in the game. How he's described in the book's really, really exciting. And it certainly looks like he can be kind of that spy master type of character. He can, have a blank face. He can not, so to speak, give away his hand. Really, really, kind of be able to manipulate and talk people and get information. Really, really exciting character, people. And if they're introducing him in Season 2, I hope Graham McTavish gets it, because he certainly has made great appearances on other pieces of work within movies and television. So really, really exciting. And I think this is encouraging too for casting. Like, they're looking at specific people for specific roles. You know what I mean? Like, Henry Cavill is Geralt, right? This guy is certainly could be our Dijkstra, and I think that's really exciting that they are looking at specific people for specific roles. Like, just super excited about that. So, what does everybody think about this potential casting for Dijkstra? Thumbs up. Let's get some. Actually, if you're excited for Graham McTavish as Dijkstra, let's get some fire emojis in chat. We haven't done any hype fire emojis in a while in chat. Good choice. Anna Iglesias said it was a good choice. Hell yeah. Okay, Kate Bertinsky. Oh yeah, there we go. We got a little hype train going for that. Really excited for that. So let's just keep on going. There's a ton more news, and I think that we should just get into all of it today, really. We'll get into the rest of the articles. By the way, people in the chat, did you know that the soundtrack is out? Soundtrack for Season 1, absolutely fantastic. The chat has been attacked by dragons. Oh, Morally with another donation to the hype train. Thank you so much. He says this is for Chrissy, Stacy, and Katrin, the mods. I believe, Chrissy, you're going to Con of Thrones. I'll share that with Chrissy when I see her, buy her a drink when I see her at Con of Thrones. So, but if Katrin and Stacy end up going to Con of Thrones, I'll share that with them too. I just don't know if you're going or not. You should go. All right, let's get into a couple more articles here. Ooh, okay. We got some filming location stuff. So this is a really short article, but I'll just read it out for everyone. Redanian Intelligence again, from Gravemaster, says, we've already reported the second season of Netflix will mostly be filmed in Arborfield Studios in the UK and the Scottish Isles of Skye. Now a new report from The Knowledge, a premium production portal, suggests, besides Scotland and England, the new season will be filmed in the Czech Republic and Slovakia. So we got to know that there is Slavic fairy tales that Andrzej tells within The Witcher. So this is really exciting. They're going to be using Eastern European countries to be filming, and really, really exciting of that. The twin fortresses of Kamarom and Kamarno at the Hungarian-Slovakian border were both used for various shots in Sintra, based on what we've heard. And it is entirely possible that the show will revisit Sintra once again. And so what they're saying is we're probably getting Sintra again. Really, really interesting. Possibly with new Slovakian locations. No further details, but they are going to be, they're going to be filming in a bunch of different locations. And one thing that I think too is that's really interesting is that we've been really spoiled with Game of Thrones, the locations, the beautiful sets and stuff like that. And I felt season 1 of The Witcher, that's something that I felt that they did really well. So I'm really excited for the choices. I think it's fantastic that they're going to be choosing new locations. And as the story progresses, we go to new locations, new places, and it looks like they're scouting out, places that have a deep connection to some of the stories that Andrzej tells within the Witcher book. So that's exciting. Any news about the animation? Yeah, so there are some questions in chat about that. We can go discuss that on Redanian Intelligence. You guys want? We can get this article going here. I'll do a screen cap again. All right, here we go. The Witcher: The Nightmare of the Wolf animated film to tell Vesemir's story. So this was just yesterday. After the success of The Witcher, Netflix has announced The Nightmare of the Wolf, an animated film to be released sometime before season 2. Surprisingly, we won't hear Henry Cavill in this, but we will see Geralt's mentor and father figure, Vesemir. So one of my absolute favorite characters. The official description reads, long before mentoring Geralt, Vesemir begins his own journey as a Witcher at the mysterious Deglin claims him through the Law of Surprise. So they're going to go deeper into the Law of Surprise, tell the backstory of Vesemir, flesh out that story, which is very exciting. And Vesemir is someone that has a particularly strong view of the world, like Geralt does, but it's different. Like he has been within this Witcher culture for, a much longer time than Geralt. So he's been around. He's an old dude. And he has certain ways about how he does things and says things. Really, really honest guy. And he has his own quirks. So I'm really excited to see where they take this story. So it says it's possible that Vesemir will be voiced by the same man who voiced him in season 1, Theo James, who is in Underworld and Divergent. Towards the end of the season 1 finale, we hear one line from Vesemir, which is voiced by James. So when Geralt is having those flashbacks in the cart where he's hallucinating, it's not out of the question that he recorded the line during the voice sessions of Nightmare of the Wolf. Theo James has already done quite a bit of voice acting for Castlevania and the Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, which is absolutely fantastic if you haven't checked it out. So he's done a bunch of voice work. It's interesting that he's already connected to the character of Vesemir, especially a young Vesemir. Really, really interesting. And it says, other than Theo James, we have reported the voice actress Harriet Kershaw has provided her voice for various roles. So This Nightmare of the Wolf is expected to be released before the season 2 of The Witcher, which is slated for release in 2021. We look forward to hearing about this project. So pretty exciting. Like, we're going to hear the story of Vesemir, everyone. And I am super encouraged about this again. Like I said, I keep on saying positive things. They keep on making great decisions as far as the content that they're going to be sharing and filling in with, within Andrei Sapkowski's world of The Witcher. So the fact that they're doing this, they're taking bigger risks. They're going to be doing these side animated film stories, all these kind of things to kind of inform more about the characters we're going to learn more about in future seasons. And they obviously saw the reaction that people had when they went and bought The Witcher books. I mean, look at me. I absolutely love The Witcher books. I bought them for a few of my friends because I love The Witcher books so much and wanted them to be able to discuss it with me selfishly. So I think that this is really encouraging. And we saw a lot of this kind of thing with Game of Thrones. We saw all these kind of extra little things, these Westerosi lore videos that they did with the DVD content. So this is something certainly that they could do with The Witcher, the content they're going to be releasing to fill in the world, to kind of give us these little hints of things that are to come, and things about the past that people want to learn about. And I think that what's really cool too is we got that interactive map that we talked about a couple podcasts ago. Me and Aziz, talked about kind of the history of the elves and some of the things that happened, with Stregobor, how long he's been around, with the Curse of the Black Sun and stuff like that. So there's certainly a lot of different directions that they can go to. And Vesemir is just, kind of the tip of the iceberg with some of the characters that can kind of fill in some of the universe. Some of the stuff that we're going to be learning on the show. Let's go back to the comment section. There's so many awesome comments here. I see hashtag Mod Squad in chat. I think season 2 will be better than season 1. Actually, let me pose this question in the chat. I know most of you enjoyed season 1, but do you think season 2 will be better than season 1? I think it's going to be better than season 1 because it's going to focus less in the short stories, which has less time jumping and has more of a I don't want to say streamlined, but more of a concise storyline, that obviously connects to multiple characters. So what are your thoughts, chat? Do you think that season 2 is going to be better than season 1? I'd love to hear your thoughts in chat. So Katrin says yes. So yes, Laughing Storm says. So mostly everyone's in agreement on that. That's pretty awesome. Morley says, I can't wait to see how Ciri's character will be developed in season 2. I agree, Kyle. I think season 2 will be better. Laughing Storm says a single timeline will help a lot. Kate Bertinsky says, I think it will be even better. They're taking direction from fans, and it should be more linear and less confusing. Awesome. Adriana Sarzinska, I hope I'm saying that correctly. Adriana Sarzinska, I haven't seen you in the live chat. Welcome if you're new. I think Vesemir's hair are gray of age. He is the oldest of the school of the Wolf Witcher, while Geralt's are white of mutation. That's correct. I would love if they did some lore on the School of the Viper and some of the other Witcher schools, because obviously we're focusing on the School of the Wolf. We had, in season 1 we saw the other Witcher. They went to Temeria, and got killed by the Striga. And it would be cool to kind of see some of what happened within the School of the Wolf, because not everything that happened to these people are nice things. They had to go through like literal torture to become Witchers. So I think that filling that in, especially for Geralt too, because of the way he's treated by the world, and to show that, Vesemir was claimed by the Law of Surprise. He had a similarly hard life as Geralt's. To kind of fill that in, that the life of the Witcher is not easy, and not just from the perspective of Geralt, but showing another Witcher will be really interesting, right? Because right now, we just have Geralt as the main Witcher, and there's other Witchers that we'll meet later in the story. There's only a few left, but I think that's going to be really interesting to kind of give a perspective of another Witcher and the way they see the world. I think that that's going to be particularly interesting because like Geralt and Vesemir, well, while they are very close, they don't share the exact same views of the world. I'll have some more coffee here. Cheers, everyone, and happy Friday. My name is quite hazy to. Oh, Adriana, everyone, welcome, Adriana. It's her first time in the chat. Welcome. Show some love to hype and love to Adriana. You know what to do. Heart and fire emojis for Adriana. We got ACDC Barca or Barca. I would love more Witcher School representation. Imagine seeing the Trial of the Grasses like Yen's transformation or the School of the Cat, which is way different than the wolf. Yeah, I would love that too. That's what I'm talking about. And if we're going to see that, like we're going to, like if they're going to do the Nightmare of the Wolf, well, I think that if Vesemir is claimed by the Lost Surprise, we're going to see him transform. Maybe we see his transformation into the Witcher, and that animated film is going to kind of show the rigorous transformations of the Witcher and kind of fill, that part of the story in for us. Show the flashbacks, the mutate. Like we need some flashbacks, right? Go back into the arduous process that Witchers have to go through to become a Witcher. All right. Adriana says, it's been a pleasure to geek about The Witcher. Hell yeah. So let's get into some more news. Redanian, I think we can go with more Redanian intelligence. They got and like I said, people, in the description of this video, go support Redanian intelligence by checking out their page. I absolutely love the articles they have. They're huge, huge Witcher fans themselves. And, I would think it wouldn't be fair to not even reference, we gotta show them some love if we're talking about it here on the stream today. So Redanian Intelligence, link in the description of the video. So we got that. Let's scroll through some. We can go for an interview with the costume designer. Actually, let's do this. The Witcher showrunner describes deleted scenes and teases season 2. Let's go with that. That seems like a fun article. All right. So The Witcher showrunner describes deleted scenes and teases season 2. Here of Rodden is the person who wrote this article. Season 2 entering production this February. Showrunner Lauren Hisrick has spoken to Vulture and Pure Fandom, describing some of the season 1 deleted scenes, teasing the structure and plot of season 2, and explaining the biggest lesson her team learned from reaction of season 1. So all three characters, Geralt, Ciri, and Yennefer, are all on the same timeline now. That's where we ended with season 1. That's absolutely where we will pick up in season 2, and the stories that will be told in a much more linear fashion in season 2. So we talked a little bit about this in the chat earlier. Someone had mentioned it, that season 2, I think it was Kate. I'm really excited. Kate Bertinsky said, hey, I'm more excited to see this more streamlined story within season 2 as opposed to the more jumping around with the short stories. Let's continue. They won't all be one story. It's not like all three of them are together and happy all the time. But I do want to employ some different ways to look at the time series-wide. I think that there is a lot that we couldn't fit into season 1, and there are different short stories that I would love to highlight and focus on. So interesting comment there, highlighting that we're possibly getting some more short stories in season 2. I certainly think that, with Yennefer, not with Geralt, I don't want to spoil it too much, but I think that we're going to get a Shard of Ice. So that's going to be something that we're probably going to see. And we're going to get story with Nivellen, it looks like, with Christopher Hivju auditioning to play Nivellen. We may end up doing those in the future via flashback. Stacy Meyer has mentioned that in the live chat, for instance. But no, we won't have things happening across 100 years at the same time anymore. So pretty clear there. Next, it says Histrich was asked about the character Fringilla, her involvement in season 2. You'll absolutely get more Fringilla. What is interesting, referring back to your earlier questions, Fringilla is one of those characters that we're going to delve into even more. One of the things that I did hear is that she seems to be like a fanatic or a zealot, which is interesting. I've never seen her that way, perhaps because even by the time that we were putting it on the air, I knew where we were going with season 2. So certainly we know the ramifications of Yennefer's decision to go through with the enchantment, the transformation, her rebirth, and that Fringilla ended up being Nilfgaardian's court mage as opposed to Yennefer. So super exciting about that. We're digging deeper into her past and how she ended up at Nilfgaard, which we just spoke about, who she is as a person, and how she and Yennefer ended up on different paths. She gets to do a lot more. I'm so excited. And Mimi Denui did such a fantastic job portraying her. So we're going to get more of Fringilla, everyone. Really excited for that. She is a great character and has a fantastic character arc. So really excited that they're going to be, like I said, we're going to get more of, kind of, the Nilfgaardian side of things with Kay here and Fringilla. And we'll get to see more of that character development since we are jumping around with Geralt and Ciri and Yennefer so much because there was, all these POVs across different timelines. So really encouraging. Another character who was discussed was the fan favorite bard Jaskier. Though Histrich is clearly fond of the character, she admits that there were certain things about the book's iteration that Jaskier that they knew had to change things in the show. So, pardon me. I guess some of my coffee here. Ooh, this is interesting. This is something that Jaskier actor Joey Beatty and I spoke about a lot. How do we take a character who loves women and not play him as a womanizer? We didn't want to play him as someone who is this trolling around taking advantage of helpless women. The solution was to not surround him with a bunch of helpless women who are standing around waiting to be taken advantage of. So as soon as you up the strength of female characters in the show, then you will immediately up the strength of the male characters as well. This is something that is so misunderstood. Many think if you have strong female characters, then obviously the men are weak. No, it makes the men stronger too. Jaskier loves people. He loves women especially, but what he loves is women who love him as well. It was easy for Joey to portray, and Joey is someone who has a lot of natural joy in life. So really interesting stuff here, and this is really encouraging. Again, I'm pointing back to the discussion that seemed to be lacking with the final couple of seasons of Game of Thrones, this communication. Communication is the single most important thing when you want feedback and you want to improve something and you want to move forward, and you want to progress, and you want to, just make things better overall. And it seems like, the showrunner and Joey Beatty, who plays Jaskier, have this really great communication. So super excited to hear that. That's what we tapped into for the character. What I love about this decision the most is that it has taken away the idea of sleazy womanizing guy and made him into someone worth rooting for. You root for him to find his true love if that's what he is looking for. So really exciting news there. Particularly interesting talking about Jaskier. This also says, Vulture also asked the showrunner about the most important critique she has received for the season 1 from critics and fans alike, and whether that would have shaped their approach for season 2. He says, one of the broadest ones, but it's not one of the ones, but it's one of the ones that hurt the most when I read it. Some people feel that because we're putting in so much story and because it was very important to me to present Yennefer early on, they felt like they didn't go deep enough into any of the characters. They were trying to follow so much story that none of the stories emotionally resonated. Not everyone feels that way, but I've heard the critique enough for it to sit with me. So that's really interesting. Some people felt like Ciri, we got so little of Ciri, and she's so important, the law of surprise, and her and Geralt are linked by destiny. And some people felt like there wasn't enough of certain characters in specific episodes. And that's kind of the critique and debate that people were having about season 1. Is like, oh, okay, like all these characters, they're connected by destiny, but we see them through multiple timelines and we're not getting these interactions. So that's really interesting that they're going to try to focus more on this emotional resonance with the characters in season 2. And she says, we already know the stories we're telling for season 2, but I want to make sure that we have the time to tell them appropriately. Maybe we'll get more episodes. That might be a little hint there. One of the biggest changes we've made is to make make sure that the scripts aren't too long. It's a terrible thing when you shoot a story that you're proud of and it's 95 minutes long and you're trying to fit in 60 minutes of television. You end up cutting stuff that you would regret or would be important. Viewers are going to find that because we're not trying to push as much story, and we're not trying to constantly introduce new characters all the time, new worlds and new kingdoms, and increase the politics sometimes. So it's really interesting. They're going to be more focused on specific characters. It looks like they're not going to be trying to jam things right down our throats specifically. It sounds like it's going to be a lot more streamlined. So really interesting stuff, everyone. It sounds like the communication between the showrunner, the actors, the writers for the show, the directors, the set people, everyone is chiming in. And the most important distinction that we can make here is that the showrunner is listening to the fans, right? How often have we said, well, damn, like Star Wars, for example, there's always controversy within Star Wars if they listen to the fans and made small changes that they could have improved those final 3 movies. I personally still enjoyed them. I still think they could have done a better job, though. I think you can always improve things, right? So I think that's really exciting. Maura Lee, thank you for joining us today. Everyone, let's show some love for Maura Lee before she takes off today. Thank you for your 3 donations. That was super generous of you to do that. I really, really appreciate it. Let's show some love to Maura before she leaves here, everyone. Enjoy your Friday. So yeah, that's certainly something that's interesting, everyone. It looks like the communication is spot on. And like I brought it up for the 5th time during this live stream, but I can't stress it enough. I mean, I covered Game of Thrones season 8. I had 25,000 negative comments on the channel about season 8. So I think I'm not saying that The Witcher will be as big as Game of Thrones, but it certainly has the potential to reach that level, if we are going to get all 7 seasons. And I think that something that was lacking towards the end of it, obviously we didn't have, something that we do have with The Witcher is that we have the ending in the books, right? And the games. And that's really important, is that we have all the material. There's something there that they have. And I'm not knocking George R. R. Martin, right? Because Dan and Dave did have conversations about the broader strokes of what were going to happen in the end. But executing that and doing it properly is something that is so important. And it seems like communication wasn't the best towards the end of Game of Thrones. So the fact that the communication is so good right now and how strong it is, that is really encouraging. Stacy says, my big gripe is that they didn't make Kay here intimidating enough. We should be as scared of him as Ciri was, the way they did it in the books. Yeah. So I think that that's something, that is a conscious decision that they, if they had the right armor too, right? Like that is one thing. Like he looked less menacing because his armor wasn't as menacing, I think too. And that's part of the decision that they were making. Kay here is this foot soldier for Nilfgaard, right? He's so important to what happens in all of these wars. Like he is a great fighter. He's intelligent. He's calculated. He helps make big decisions, right? Having him look more menacing is certainly something that will impact the way we view him, right? Like look, for example, how we viewed the Mountain in Game of Thrones. Like just this big menacing dude, right? And other people, for example, right? Like Sandor Clegane. These people that we look at as menacing, their appearance matters. And I think that decision to consciously change the armor is going to really affect the way we look at Kay here as well. So really excited about that. More Vader, less Kylo next time. That's a great comment, Laughing Storm. I'm going to make you awesome. Didn't like him as a character. He was creepy. Yeah, he's a great character. I don't want to spoil too much. He's someone that has interesting viewpoints, and I think that they're going to be exploring that. He's a character that is going to develop, like Stacy says in the chat. Let's see what else I can find here. See if I can find any more news to The Witcher Season 2. Any more awesome stuff. I'm going to see if we can't find that article with Christopher Hivju and maybe Nivellen. All right, let's look into this because I know a lot of you are Game of Thrones fans in the chat, and let's take a look at this article. Even though we spoke about it a little bit earlier. Look at that handsome man. I love Christopher. He's amazing. Game of Thrones actor Christopher Hivju possibly cast in The Witcher. So here we go. Henry Cavill is the absolute superstar of Netflix's The Witcher and by far the biggest name in the cast. But there's a possibility of another big actor joining his team. Christopher Hivju, who a lot of you know as Tormund Giantsbane from Game of Thrones. Why do we think this may be the case? Several reasons, but let's go through this one by one. So there's different instances here that we're going to look through. Evidence, some gumshoeing that we're going to be doing. First, there was an Instagram post by director Steven Surjic, who we talked about earlier, who worked on Daredevil and the other Marvel Netflix shows that ended up getting canceled. By the way, those are apparently going to reappear later. I'm not sure if Disney Plus is going to take them on, but somehow there's rumors that John Bernthal and maybe coming back as the Punisher and stuff like that. So that's really exciting. So Steven Surjic, who previously wrote, is going to be scouting different locations. He's going to be a director for 2 episodes. So there's a now deleted Witcher-related post where he tagged Christopher Hivju along with Henry Cavill and Anya Chalotra. And it says, the real Kristen Ritter, that is, Kristen Ritter is who played Jessica Jones, by the way. And then it says, there's a couple of other people, the blonde Braveheart. And then it says, just starting the new season. So really interesting that, tag Christopher Hivju in there. Pretty interesting. It says, we ignored it at the time because it seemed very random. Then a few days later, we decided to do our research on the topic because Steven and Christopher have never worked together before. So that's really interesting. We have found that there are some very curious social media connections between Team Hivju and Team Witcher. Christopher Hivju followed not 1, not 2, but 3 Witcher accounts lately, and there are also connections between Christopher Hivju's agent and the Witcher casting team. Moreover, when asked about this, our sources told us they have heard something about Christopher before, but no specifics were given about this. And for me, just like the description of Nivellen, like this Beauty and the Beast thing, and this like Nivellen, I don't know. I can, just in my head from reading Nivellen's short story and looking at Christopher Hivju, I think that he would be the perfect Nivellen. And even if he's not Nivellen, he can fit in as another character. But this is obviously, who he's been tied to so far. In short, we have reasons to believe that Christopher Hivju may have been cast in The Witcher, but we could be wrong. Similar case on... they had Emma Appleton, who played Renfrey. They were right about that. So they're talking about hey, trust us a little bit on this. We made a prediction that Emma Appleton was Renfrey when we did our kind of gumshoeing and our detective work on that. They say it's currently a big if, but yeah. Nivellen, who is featured, of course, in the short story A Grain of Truth, might be adapted into season 2. And we did hear Lauren talk about how they want to adapt more short stories in the future as flashbacks. It's certainly possible that they do a Geralt and Ciri arriving to, this location where, on their journey together. So I think certainly he is someone that we could possibly see as Nivellen. Now, I would love to see him as Krakon Crate. I think he would just be fantastic as Krakon Crate. Of course, we see a younger version of Krakon Crate when we see Pavetta and Dooney and all of that, and the whole ceremony go down. He's there, and he specifically referenced from Queen Calantha to Pavetta as there was already this sham marriage, it was this arranged marriage. So I could certainly see him as an aged Krakon Crate. He's certainly not as big as the guy that we saw within The Witcher. I don't know how they're going to work that out, but I would love to see what happens there. If he was a Skelligan man, if they're going to do that. But someone from Skellige would. He certainly could. I mean, he played a member of the Free Folk in Game of Thrones, which is basically we got the Ironborn, but kind of Viking-esque character. So, I think certainly he's a fantastic actor. He started to have a bigger role in Game of Thrones, of course, through the end of the story. He survived Game of Thrones. Spoiler alert. So that's certain. If he's someone. Certainly that could make a big impact in the story. So yeah, I don't know. Like he just has that bravado. He has that charisma. I think that, could carry him as one of the great characters within The Witcher. What does everybody think about Christopher Hivju though? Do you think he would make a great villain, or I want to kind of see everyone else's suggestions in the chat. What character you would like to see him play? Suggestions in chat. I know. Aaron Irina, yeah, what's going on? I'd love to see him as a king, personally. Chappelle. Ooh, Laughing Storm. I like that. I like that. And he could be menacing for sure. It's certainly encouraging, though, that they have like the casting news. There's some big name actors that they're attracting to the show, and I think that's one thing too. Like towards the end of Game of Thrones, they had some really fantastic actors and actresses that were cast. Right, of course, they developed these people like Kit Harington and Maisie Williams. And Sophie Turner. They all developed into these fantastic actors and actresses, and of course, when we started The Witcher, we have like our Sean Bean, as Ned Stark, and we have, and Peter Dinklage as Tyrion. We have our Geralt as, Henry Cavill as our Geralt. So some more of these characters that we're going to have is certainly going to be interesting to see who they cast some of these more impactful characters that we're going to see in future seasons. But it certainly looks like they have great casting directors. So far, I'm really blown away by, Anya Chalotra as Yennefer, who's one of my favorite characters from the books, but certainly she may have delivered overall the best performance out of season 1 out of any of the actors and actresses. Jodie May, who played Queen Calantha, was someone that stood out for me as well. So certainly that the decisions that they're making within the casting for me have been very strong. Who do I want to see as Regis? Well, damn. Putting me on the spot. I don't know. Regis is such an interesting character too, right? Like they have to pick because he makes such a big impact, right? There is a specific actor that could play Regis, but I'm gonna have to think about that one. Actually, let me ask chat. Should we do should I do some dream casting videos? Like who I would like if I were to make like who I think should be cast as a specific character, like dream casting YouTube videos for future seasons of The Witcher. Would you watch those, like specific characters, like Regis? I'd love to see this actor as Regis, or I'd love to see this character as the Emperor of Nilfgaard. Oh, Vilgefortz. Yeah, Stacy. I'm not going to say any more on that. But certainly the actor that plays Vilgefortz is he's been great in the other projects he's been attached to. Let's go find a couple more articles. Let's see if we can't find some more stuff to talk about. Okay. Trying to find some more articles for us. And also, if you have any questions in the chat, feel free to ask them, by the way. We can just do that. We can just do an open Q&A period. We can do that. But I can find some more articles for us. See if we can't find some more information. I think I pretty much covered most of it. There's not a ton out right now. We will be getting more of it, like as season 2 films, and stuff comes out. I will try to not be too spoilery, but if important information comes out, I'm definitely going to speak about it. My allergies have been acting up over the past couple of days, by the way. It makes no sense because it's January. It's so weird. Actually, let's ask chat. So I'm still I'm going to be doing some more in-depth. I still have to do my episode 5, 6, 7, and 8 review. They're going to be longer videos, around 20 minutes long, really breaking down the episodes. I thought of actually kind of doing like this like kind of rewind, like going over each scene. I thought instead of just talking about like my specific review, what I enjoyed and what I did enjoy, kind of breaking down scenes. Like I kind of want to change my format on episode reviews a little bit. And I thought it would be cool if I specifically broke down scenes kind of like a football player would break down tape. I thought that would be kind of cool. That's something that I've kind of floated the idea around a little bit. I'm definitely going to be doing some lore videos and talking about specific characters, but I'd love to actually, let's do a little consensus right now in chat. What specific type of Witcher videos would you like to see on the channel? So like Witcher season 2 theory videos, prediction videos for season 2. I can certainly do season 2 Witcher videos. I can go back and kind of do more like in-depth episode reviews, character profiles. I can do chapter breakdowns, short story breakdowns. There will always be the book club. Next week, we're talking about, obviously, the story of the Striga. So we could do that. But I'd love to kind of hear your thoughts in the chat, because as far as content goes on the channel, I'm like really undecided where to take it. Like there's so many different avenues that I could take. And I really want to hear what all of you enjoy. Like I'm going to make content in the style that I'm going to make it. Like if there's a specific topic I want to talk about, I'm going to make it because I want to talk about it with you guys. So I'm a hardcore nerd for The Witcher, but I want to hear what you want on the channel too, So book to show comparisons. Okay. That's really interesting. Character profiles. Predictions and theories. Ooh. So speculation. Yeah, that was kind of my bread and butter for Game of Thrones, right? Maybe I should just go back to doing that. That's kind of how we built the channel up to get to our 40,000 subscribers. Would any of you watch me play The Witcher 3, by the way? Laughing Storm, by the way, you know what? Laughing Storm, do you want to come on the channel with me next week to break down the prologue of The Last Wish? If you want to come on the channel, me and you could break. How about this? I'm extending an invitation to Laughing Storm to come on the channel next week to break down the prologue in Temeria of The Last Wish. You want to come on, man? Hell yeah. We got a new guest on the channel next week, everyone. Laughing Storm, another Canadian. We're going to break down in the book club next week. That's right, the prologue of The Last Wish. The Wintry Kingdom of Temeria. Hell yeah. Last time me and Aziz did about 2 hours for the book club, but super awesome. Oh, is that the link to Laughing Storm's page? Awesome. Ian Glenn is Regis. Oh my God, Tynef. That, you know what, too? The hell yeah. Ian Glenn would make a fantastic Regis, I think. That would be fun. Sorry about my allergies today, everyone. I really don't know if it's just like the dryness in my house or whatever, because it is winter, and it has been milder. So I don't know why I'm having such allergies. Okay, cool. So we have a guest for next week, Laughing Storm. I'll talk to you on Facebook, and we can go over, how to coordinate for next Friday. Is next Friday work for you, by the way? I usually do my live streams at 2 p.m. on Fridays, but I'm also considering coronavirus. Shut up. I'll kill you. But yeah, no. I want to do my book club. I love Fridays, but I'm open to doing 2 streams a week, maybe one on Fridays and Sundays, or I could do Mondays maybe. But it's so hard. This is the best day of the week for me personally to do streams. But I think Sunday would kind of be a cool day too, because more people have that day off. So I'm kind of been toggling, because I want to be able to honor the people who come on Fridays and do them during the day. But yeah, weekends are good, but Friday afternoon you can do it. Okay. Well, we'll coordinate what works best for you next week, and we'll kind of align our schedules, and we'll break that down. Aziz will be coming back on the channel at some point. I specifically in February. So for those of you who like History of Westeros, we have spoken about doing the Edge of the World chapter in the Last Wish show. Torque, the short story that didn't get adapted as much as I wanted in episode 2 of Philavandrel, the King of Elves, and all of that. Aziz is going to come back on the channel. We're going to break down the Edge of the World. So that's really exciting. Aziz is a fantastic guest. Every time we chat about The Witcher, I'm impressed. And he's going to be coming back on the channel as a guest as well. So, but yeah, so let's get back to, we'll wrap up in about 10 minutes here. Let's get back into a little discussion. So I saw some people mention monster videos, character profiles. Certainly, I'm, of course, going to be doing prediction and theory videos for season 2. I've already got some ideas for that, but I'm really, let's just kind of, as we're ending the stream here, just really interested in what kind of content. And by the way, if you're listening and you're in the live chat and you haven't posted, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Just really, love hearing other people's points of views. Like I said, from the Witcher Addicts, Geek Chat 1 on Facebook, Twitch, whoever's watching, I'd love to hear your thoughts. And what kind of videos do you love to listen to? Because ultimately, I'm going to make the videos that I love, but I also want to hear what you want to listen to, so we can have a conversation. So Witcher lore, Stacy says, that would be kind of cool. Talk about like School of the Wolf, people were talking about earlier. Yeah, the only problem on Sundays is that there's other live streams. Aziz does his live streams on Sunday. That's the only thing. And Friday is like the perfect time because we have our own little time slot, and we're not, like running into anybody else's stream. So that's why I like Friday, right? Because we've been doing it on Friday forever. I think it's crazy. It'll be 4 years on YouTube in April. Yeah, absolutely insane. So everybody's down for lore videos. Okay, that's reasonable. That's what I figured too, because people want to learn more about The Witcher, right? So everybody's in on the lore. Yeah, 4-year anniversary stream will be crazy. I'm getting old, everyone. By the way, okay, let's take a list. How old does everybody think I am in chat? I'm just curious. I'm just curious how old, and I won't be offended. 27 Laughing Storm, okay. 25 X Factor. 37, Anna, wow. Okay. Spring Chicken. Oh, Kate's ruining it. Yeah, I'm 33. But a lot of people say I look younger. So I'll take 27, though. Oh, the average age is 26 in chat. Thank you. I wish I could toss a spry 60. ACDC, I'll time you out, bro. Or miss. I don't know. I'll time you out for that. 60. Wow. That's so rude of you to say. I really appreciate everyone for coming today, by the way. 29. I appreciate that I got some 26, 27s in there. A guy? Okay. Well, I'll time you out next time, ACDC, for that. The beard makes me look older. Well, I appreciate that. So I really want to thank everyone for coming today. Like I said, all the articles that we spoke about today from the awesome site Redanian Intelligence. You can find the description of this video. I also posted links to 2 interviews with the showrunner if you want to find out more information about season 2 from IGN and also, I believe, Vulture. So those are in the description of this video. If you do want to support the channel, you can hit that join button. $5 a month, get bonus content. I'm creating weekly bonus content. You get super cool emojis. I'm going to spam that the Witcher emoji right now. Like, hell yeah, special Witcher emoji. So if you hit that join button, $5 a month, we've got new channel memberships. Super excited and hype about that. You get a cool badge beside you in chat. So if you want to support the channel, it really helps me out, continue to make full-time videos. Got my Patreon in chat, my links to all my social media if you want to follow me on Twitter, Instagram, or anything like that. Like I said, I just started my Twitch channel. The link for that is in the description of this video. And yeah, the link to Witcher Addicts Facebook and also Geek Chat 1 are in the description of this video. Happy Friday, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. And watch out for my video tomorrow on Season 2. I'll see you all in the next video. Toss a coin to you, you die.